My name's Becky May. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be teaching a well-rounded practice. I've been sharing it with a friend to help him develop his home practice recently, and it just struck me as a good one to share with the world because it's got everything in it. It's suitable for beginners more or less. Whenever it's not, I'll make this apparent and give modifications. But it's got sun salutations, it's got lots of standing postures, it's got twist, a balance, a back bend, an inversion. So just everything that I look to include in a really well-rounded practice, and it's quite energising as well. So a great thing to do first thing in the morning. So let's begin. We'll start standing in this one. It's quite a kind of classic sequence. So come to stand at the front of your mat. And just lift yourself up onto the toes, spread the toes, sink the heels down so you really feel firmly planted and grounded, especially if this is the first thing you do in the day. Really ground yourself, or at any time of the day, just feel that support of the floor beneath you. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Interlace the hands behind you if available and press the knuckles down. If not, just reach the fingertips down. But we're trying to draw the shoulders back and down, squeezing the shoulder blades together, drawing the tailbone in and the navel back to the spine, firming up the thighs. Breathe into the upper chest. And connect with your breath before we start to move. Breathing in and out through the nose. And release the hands, but keep the shoulders back so we keep the chest open. Tadasana, mountain pose. Strong legs, rounded feet, connected breath. Use your next inhale to raise the hands up and look up to the front. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bring the hands down towards the floor. Drop the head, folding in. Bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine with a flat back. You can bring the hands to the shins if that's better for you. And exhale, hands on the floor, step back to plank. If plank's too much, simply bring the knees down for tabletop. Otherwise, strong legs, draw the heels back, lift navel to spine. Deep inhale here. Exhale, knees down, keep the elbows in, push the floor away as you drop the chin and the chest to the floor, hips high. Inhale up to a back bend, shoulders back, chest forward, looking up. Exhale, downward dog. And we're looking to take 3 to 5 breaths in downward dog. Spread the fingertips, spread the toes, drop the heels towards the floor. Feel your foundations. Drop the head between the arms, look back to the feet. Strong thighs, so lift up on the kneecaps to engage the thighs. And hollow out the belly. Find your bandhas, your energy locks. Lift the navel to the spine, lift on the pelvic floor. Breathe fully into the back. One more breath. And at the end of the exhale, look forward, walk or step the feet towards the hands. Inhale, look up with a flat back. Exhale, drop the head, folding in. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head, reach and stretch, look up. And exhale, back to our mountain pose, Tadasana, hands to the sides. And again, inhale up, legs strong, feet grounding, reaching up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, drop the head, long neck. Inhale, look up with a flat back. Exhale, plank, or tabletop with the knees down. Inhale here, strong arms, push the floor away. Exhale, knees on the floor as before, or if you prefer, knees off the floor, coming down to chaturanga as I'm showing. Inhale into your back bend. It doesn't need to be full upward dog. As I'm showing, it could be as before with the elbows bent. Exhale, downward dog. So tailor these sun salutations for your body. If you're a beginner, stick with the first option for a while. 3 to 5 slow deep breaths in downward dog. We're looking for quality, not quantity, so best to do 3 full breaths than 5 shallow breaths. Feel your foundations, feet and hands grounded. Feel your bandhas, your energy center beneath the navel drawing up to the spine. One more deep breath. And then looking forward, walk, step, or maybe even jump if you feel energetic. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, drop the head. folding in. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head, palms together, look up. And exhale, Tadasana, hands to the side. Just going to do one more like that. Use the inhale to raise the hands, palms come together at the top of the inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, drop the head. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, walk, step, maybe even jump back to your plank, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale here, sucking the belly up to the spine. Exhale, knees on or off the floor, lowering down to the mat or chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend of choice, shoulder tips back, chest forward, looking up. And exhale, downward dog. Looking back to your feet, spread the fingertips, hollow the belly, firm the thighs, spread the toes. Relax your jaw, relax the neck. Breathe deeply. One more deep breath. Fill the back with your breath. And at the end of the exhale, look forward. And again, walk, step, maybe even a little hop to take the feet towards the hands. Use the inhale to look up with a flat back. Shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, drop the head, long neck. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head. Look up to your thumbs, reach and stretch up as you press down through the feet. And exhale, hands return to the sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Just pause here for 1 or 2 breaths just to reconnect to your breath, reconnect to your center, reconnect to the grounding through your feet. And then we're going to step the feet hip distance apart, so feet parallel beneath the hips, hands on the hips. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, look up and breathe into the chest. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. So you can bend the knees as much as you need here. I'm going to hold on to the opposite elbows and let the top of the head drop towards the floor so the back of the neck is long. And the torso is kind of just hanging. You can even sway a little bit side to side, forwards, backwards. But the feet are very strongly grounded and the legs are strong. You could try really bending the knees quite deep, finding the connection between the ribs, lower ribs and the thighs, and then opening the backs of the knees from there. And then connecting with your breath. Also trying to still find this hollow belly sensation, lifting the navel to the spine, lifting on the pelvic floor. One more deep breath here. And then we're going to bend the knees deep, drop the hips, really suck the belly up to the spine, drop through the heels and reach the fingertips forward. So we're kind of exploding our energy forwards out through our fingertips, but really rooting down through the heels, and a lot of strength in the core here, really sucking that belly in, lifting on the pelvic floor. Breathing deep, really good for strengthening the back, this, as well as obviously the legs and the hips. One more breath. And then slowly, try not to rush, push through the feet, bring yourself back to standing up, reach the hands all the way up, stretching up for a moment, and exhale, return to Tadasana. Hands to the sides. And then we're going to turn to face the long edge of your mat, feet between your elbows and your wrist, coming into Trikonasana. We're going to turn the right foot in, the left foot out, all the way out. The heels are in line, but the hips stay facing forward. Firm up the thighs by drawing up on the kneecaps. Inhale here. Exhale, we slide the torso to the left until it can't go any further, and then left hand comes down to reach the shin or the thigh or the foot, whatever it finds. The right hand reaches up and we look up if that's okay for our neck. Try not to let the body collapse forward, keeping the torso in line with the legs, even if we're all the way up here. Breathing deep. Spreading the toes, firming up the thighs, drawing the tailbone under and the navel in to find that core. Now for the last couple of breaths, keep real extension in this right arm, just bring it close to the upper arm close to the ear and reach through the fingertips, palm facing the floor. So we're looking for this long line across the right side of the body, pushing right hips back, reaching right fingertips forward. And then bring that right hand up again, and on an inhale, coming up. And we just turn to the other side. So turn your left foot in, toes in front of the heel if possible, right foot all the way out, but hips stay facing forward. Firm up the thighs, reach through the fingertips, inhale here, and as we exhale, slide the torso to the right, keeping the legs straight if possible, and then right hand just meets thigh, shin, foot, whatever it meets. Stretch the left hand up and look up. Draw the navel in, draw the tailbone under, lift up on the kneecaps to keep the thighs firm, spread the toes, actively push the feet into the mat, and breathe. Try not to collapse all our weight into this right hand, a sense of dynamic lifting, because we're really using our core. And again, for the last 2 breaths, really keep the length in the left arm as you release the upper arm so it's close to the ear, palm faces floor, stretch the fingertips forward as you shoot the left hip back. Create lots of length and stretch along the side waist. And then raising the left hand again on an inhale, bring yourself up and release the hands down. And we're going to stay facing the same way, just widen the stance a little bit. Same again, we turn the right foot in first a little bit, toes in front of the heel if possible, left foot all the way out, hips stay facing forward, exactly the same as before. Inhale here. This time as we exhale, we bend the left knee. We're looking for the knee above the ankle or behind, not in front. If it's in front, just widen the stance a little bit, okay? And try to avoid the knee collapsing inwards, keeping it over the ankle. Reaching through the fingertips, we're in warrior 2. Reach dynamically forward through left fingertips, back through right fingertips, and we're looking over our left middle finger into the middle distance. Press through the left heel, press through the little toe edge of the back foot. So the legs are very strong here. Always with our core awareness, pelvic floor lifting, navel to spine. One more deep breath. And we're going to change it to Parsvakonasana, the side angle pose. So your options, elbow to thigh, right upper arm comes up and over close to the ear, palm faces the floor, and we revolve the chest to look up to our right hand. Even if that's too much on the neck and you need to look forward, still trying to find this revolving of the chest up towards the ceiling, or in my case the sky. So your other option, if the hip is open enough, is to take your left hand to the floor, or if you had a block you could put it on the block. But if you do this and the hip has to pop up for you to achieve it, just stay with the elbow on the thigh. I love elbow to thigh, it gives a lot of space down the right side, which is what we're looking for here. We're looking for this long line. Parsvakonasana means side angle pose, so we're creating this angle. And then on your next inhale, coming up, straighten that left leg. And we're going to turn to the other side. So left foot turns in, toes in front of the heel, right foot all the way out, but hips don't move. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. So we're bending that right knee, knees above the ankle or behind. Reach forward through the right fingertips, back through the left fingertips, and look over your middle right finger. Try to avoid hunching shoulders around the ears. Activate the shoulder blade, or the muscles around the shoulder blades, to draw the shoulder blades together down the spine. So there's lots of space between the ears and the shoulders. Core awareness, strong legs, active feet. One more breath. And then Parsvakonasana, so elbow to thigh, revolve the torso, look up to your left hand if it's okay for your neck, possibly hand to the floor, but keep that long line down the left side of the body. Breathe deep, keep pressing through the little toe edge of the left foot, heel of the right foot. One more deep breath, and then inhale, straightening the right leg, coming up. And if you need to just bring the feet together for a moment, do so. Otherwise stay in the wide leg position. But this time feet parallel, so outer edges of the feet parallel now. So if you've brought the legs together, join us in this wide leg position, outer edges of the feet parallel, hands on the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, look up, open the chest. Exhale, hinge at the hips, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, our wide leg forward fold. So when you get to your deepest fold, knees can be bent, no problem. Just release the hands to the floor. Take another inhale to straighten the arms and look up, almost like you're pulling the floor towards you underneath your hands. And then really contract the front body, contract navel to spine, and exhale. Use that front body contraction to draw the torso towards the thighs. Drop the head, so the back of the neck is long and the top of the head's descending to the floor. If you're quite open here, fingertips are in line with the toes. You might need to have the hands on blocks, or you might need to bend the knees, no problem. Slow, deep breaths. Strong legs, active, open feet. Check you're not too much in your toes or too much in your heels, evenly pressing the feet. One more breath. And then with your inhale, straighten the arms and look up. Exhale, hands to hips, so really use the core here. Inhale, coming up with a flat back. And exhale, step the feet together. Okay. So you can turn to face the front of your mat, come to the front again. I'm just going to keep facing the camera. We're going to do the tree balance. So spread, we're going to start on the left foot. So spread the left toes, sink the heel, firm up the left thigh. Try to keep the hips sucking in towards the centre line rather than the left hip swinging out to the side when we come up. So keeping everything in the centre, by firming up the standing leg. As you inhale, try and keep the spine straight. Just lift up the right knee towards you and take the hands around the front of the shin or the back of the knee and draw the knee towards the chest. Drawing the shoulders back, opening the chest. Push through the left heel to open the back of the left knee. And then from here we find tree position for the foot. So bring your right foot to the inside of the left thigh, toes pointing down. If that's not available, inner calf or inner ankle with the toes just touching the floor, just don't press the inner knee, okay? Above or below. Bring the hands together at the centre of the chest. So we're actively pressing the heel into the standing leg and resisting with the standing leg. So everything's sucking and drawing into the centre line. Draw the shoulders back, open the chest. This might be enough, stay here. Otherwise on your inhale, draw a line through the centre of the body up above the head. And as you exhale, open the hands into full tree, Vrikasana. And we're reaching up through the fingertips dynamically, but drawing the shoulder blades down the spine to bring the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing down through the left foot, so roots down, branches up, everything's dynamic. We're pressing in two different directions, down through the foot, up through the fingertips, like a tree. Find a steady gaze on the floor in front of you, soft gaze, something that doesn't move, not me. And breathing deep. Breathing into the upper chest. Wonderful open position for the chest here. On your next inhale, bring the palms together above the head, keeping that extension up through the fingertips, and exhale, slide the fingers, the thumbs towards the sternum, back down the centre line of the body. Inhale here, thumbs touch sternum, and exhale, trying to make the exit part of the posture, place the right foot back where it came from, hands to the side. Just take a moment between sides, and we'll go to the other side. So spread the right toes, sink the heel, firm the thigh, keep this awareness in sucking the right hip into the centre line, spine vertical, inhale, lift the left leg, and then take the hands and draw the knee to the chest, either holding the shin or the back of the knee, shoulders back, chest open. Push down through the right heel, open the back of the right knee as much as you can. And then find your tree position today. So full position, the heel is into the upper thigh, toes pointing downwards, but if that's not available to you today, below the knee, so either calf or ankle, and you can rest the toes on the floor, no problem. Drawing the knee, the left knee behind you so that we open up the inner left thigh. Hands come together at the centre of the chest. Press left heel into right leg resisting. Inhale up through the centre line of the body. Hands above the head, and exhale into the full posture. Dynamic fingertips reaching up, but shoulder blades drawing down and together down the spine, pushing down through the right heel, opening the back of the right knee. Stabilizing the lower belly and breathing into the upper chest and the rib cage, the thoracic breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. One more breath. And then inhale, bring the palms together above the head, reaching up dynamically through the fingertips. Exhale, draw that line down the centre of the body till the thumbs touch the sternum. Inhale here. And exhale, place the left foot down and release the hands. Well done. Okay, so if you're not already standing at the front of the mat, coming there, feet together, we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. And heels are in line, or it's a little bit easier if you just walk the right foot, the front foot, just a foot's width out to the right. Bring your hands to your hips and draw that left hip forward. We're trying to get both hips facing directly forward. And then bending into this right knee. Drawing the tailbone under and the navel in. So we try and get really deep into the body, deep into the psoas muscle here. You'll feel it on the inner left thigh and hip crease. And then inhale, stretch the hands up, looking up to the thumbs if that's okay for your neck. What we're looking for is to keep pressing actively back through the left foot so we anchor that foot down, especially the little toe edge. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Breathe deep, warrior breaths. 2 more. I am so in love with this posture at the moment for some reason. Okay, we're going to inhale, straighten the right leg and just pivot on the feet. Come around to face the other end of your mat. And just look at your heels again. We're looking for heels in line, or a bit easier, step that left foot a foot's width out to the left. Bend the left knee. Try and access this tailbone under, scooping the tailbone under, drawing the navel in, zipping up the lower belly. Push actively through the back foot and look up to your thumbs again. 5 breaths, more or less, 3 to 5 slow deep breaths. And then inhale, straighten the left leg, release the hands, and just step right foot to join left foot. And we're going to come down towards the floor. If you've got bad knees, just sit down, however's right for you. But otherwise, we're going to come down to the floor via a squat. So take your feet, I'm working with feet parallel and just wider than hip distance, but a bit easier is feet wider and toes pointing out to the edges of the mat. So your choice. We're going to inhale, raise the hands up. And exhale, start to bend the knees, sinking into the hips. So you'll have to kind of bring the weight forward a little bit at some point, trying to use your core control to control your descent. So really, when I get low, I have to really reach my fingertips forward to stop me falling back. So just pausing in your deep squat for a couple more breaths. Use the core. And then with as much dignity as you can muster, just bring your bum down to the floor. Technical term. Okay, and we arrive on the mat. So we're going to do some seated postures. So we start with Dandasana, the staff pose. So a deceptive posture, there's a lot going on here. We're squaring off the feet as if we were standing on the floor. So most people, their toes are a bit curled in towards each other. Press through the big toe, open up the soles of the feet. Firm up the thighs by drawing up on the kneecaps. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. So again, squeezing the shoulder blades together and gliding them down the spine. And just lightly rest the fingertips either side of the hips. And then really work with your bandhas here, your energy locks. So Mula Bandha, the root lock, lift up on the pelvic floor muscles or the perineum muscles. And then Uddiyana Bandha, the flying up lock. Scoot that lower belly back towards the spine and in and up. It's the deep transverse abdominals right inside the body. Scooping them in and up. Navel to spine. And then drop the chin towards the chest. If you really are able, you can also find the third lock, energy lock, Jalandhara Bandha, where you lift the chest to the chin and seal the gap between the chin and the chest. And when all 3 locks are engaged, this is called Mahabandha, the full lock. Breathing fully. And then if you're in Jalandhara Bandha, just lifting the head, keep everything else switched on and raise the hands, reaching up through the fingertips. So we're lifting out of this lower back. Inhale here, keep the core switched on. Exhale, take the chin and the chest forward. So if you're tight in the hamstrings, you'll probably need to bend the knees here. And then when you can't go any further, let the hands come down to touch the thighs, the calves, the feet, whatever they find. Inhale again to lengthen, draw the shoulders back, open the chest. And then we exhale, allow ourselves to drop the head. And just take 5 deep breaths here. So we allow the posture to open up incrementally with the breath. Don't force. You're exactly where you need to be. So just focus on the slow, deep breaths, listening to your body's feedback. Where is it appropriate for you to be? Where you're feeling that stretch at the back of the body, but as you're not forcing, you can still breathe fully. You can still relax your attitude. Notice if you're straining to be somewhere other than you are, if there's any frustration or any emotional qualities like that in the mix. Just notice and let them go. Just be with the breath. Couple more breaths. And then slowly coming back up. And we're going to take a counter posture Purvottanasana. So we'll bring the hands about 10 centimetres behind you or so, fingertips pointing forwards, and draw the shoulder tips forward here. You can do this slightly easier for some people if you're new, with the knees bent, and we push up to what's called upward tabletop or inverse tabletop. But the full posture is with the legs straight. Okay, so your choice, shoulders forward, push through the hands, lift the hips up, inwardly rotate the legs if they're straight to press the big toes down towards the floor, and if it feels okay in your neck, the full posture, we drop the head back and look behind us. I'm pushing very actively through my hands, my triceps are firm, pressing the toes, big toes towards the mat, lifting the hips. One more breath. And then use your hands as your brake, so push through your hands to slowly lower the hips with control. It's a really tough posture, that. So, even if you can just manage 1 breath, 2 breaths, and build it up slowly over time, as with everything, it's repetition where we start to open the body in its own sweet time. So we're going to take a twist here. So just interlace your hands around the front of the right shin. Use that grip to lift up out of the lower back. We're activating the left leg, pressing through the heel, toes up towards the ceiling. And then when you kind of have clasp the right thigh towards the chest as best as possible, just place the right foot on the floor. I'm going to take the right hand behind us as our prop. Inhale, lift up through the left side, get really long, and then twist from the navel towards your bent thigh. And options, you can just hug the knee into the crook of the elbow and extend the forearm down the thigh, or if it's available, you can press the elbow to the outer thigh or outer knee, palm facing forward. Either way, we look behind us. There is also, if you're very deep into this, if the torso is kind of touching the thigh, there is the full Marichyasana C bind, where we wrap the left arm around the right knee and find our fingertips or wrist of the right hand behind us. Maybe find the left thigh with the right fingertips. Totally optional, don't force it. There's absolutely no point going for that unless you're super deep already in the twist, otherwise you'll just injure your elbow. Your shoulder. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, deepen the twist. One more breath. And then inhale, turn to face the front, releasing the twist, and just take a nice, easy, lazy twist the other way. So just drape the right elbow on the right knee, open to the left, and just breathe fully into the front of the body here, the belly, the chest. Should feel kind of delicious after the closed twist in the other direction. And then we'll swap sides. So extend the right leg, interlace the hands around the front of the left shin, and draw the thigh in towards the chest and lift up through the lower back, using that grip to help you lift, gain extension through the spine, shoulders back, chest open, and then place the left heel as close to the groin as possible, close to the inner right thigh. Right leg is very active, pushing through the heel, toes up. Left hand is your prop behind you. Inhale, reach, get super long through the right side, twist from the navel towards the bent thigh, either hug the knee into the crook of the elbow, or press the upper arm and the elbow towards the outside of the knee, palm faces forward. Look over your left shoulder. Again, possible option for those who are very deep to take Marichyasana C. And breathe. One more breath. Push through left heel. Push through the sole of the left foot. Push through right heel. toes up. And on your next inhale, turn to face the front, releasing with control. And again, just that delicious lazy stretch, lazy twist the other way. So drape left elbow and left knee and just fully breathe into the front of the body. Great. And then we're going to come to Upavishta. So we come to a wide leg straddle position on the floor. As wide as is comfortable for you. Again, knees can be bent. Take the hands behind you for a moment, trying to get onto the base of the pelvis, connecting with the floor. Toes pointing straight up to the ceiling, so not back, not forward, toes up. Use your core, your bandhas, lift on pelvic floor, scoop that lower belly in and up. Inhale, raise the hands, stretch through the sideways. If this is too much, if you collapse back, just keep the hands behind you. And then bring the hands in front of you. And again, we're going to take 5 good long breaths here, so let the posture unfold with time. So just start to take deep breaths, moving the hands as the body invites you to. You might just stay upright. This might already be enough of a stretch for you on the back of the legs, the inner thighs. So just seeing what the posture is for you today at this time. Not forcing, following your breath. Check you can always breathe fully. That's your guide. Legs active, toes up. Maybe one more deep breath. And then slowly walking the hands back in wherever you got to. And we just bring the hands behind the knees. And just slide the legs together, just hug the forearms around the shins for a moment, maybe dropping the head. Just take a moment, bringing everything back in. And we're going to come down onto our backs. So that was working with the inner hips, so now we're looking at the outer hips because we're going for this very well-rounded class today. So flex the right foot, place the right ankle, outer ankle on the front of the left thigh. Keep this right foot very active. Feed the right hand under the gap you've created, under the right leg, and the left hand comes around the outside and you hold either the back of the left knee or if you can, comfortably find the front of the shin, interlace your hands around the front of the shin. And make sure the head stays on the floor, the shoulders are relaxed. Right foot very active. Okay, so you should be feeling this stretch around the right outer hip and lower back maybe. This is great for anyone who has sciatica, or most of us are tight in this area, all of us are tight in this area. If this is too much for you, just take the left foot to the floor. You're still in the same position, you're still stretching this area. Okay? Otherwise, you control this, you draw the left knee towards you as far as you wish to feel this right hip opener. Just take some little circles in the left ankle while we're here, just 2 or 3 times in each direction, just mobilising the left ankle joint. Great. And then release that left foot to the floor. Keep the shape, so really hold this shape. It's kind of like you've created a triangle here. Keep that triangle as you roll the legs to the left. So if you keep the shape of the legs the same, eventually the sole of that right foot's going to come to meet the floor. Or if you have restriction, it might not touch the floor, but it will be close to the floor. And the left outer leg is on the floor. And you can extend the arms out in line with the shoulders and look over your right shoulder. And I like to just use my left hand to gently press the inner right thigh forward, away from me. Because what we're doing here is creating a lot of space down this right side, especially around the hinge of the body, the right hip area, and it's delicious for the spine, the lower back, the quadratus lumbar muscle, all these outer hip muscles. So breathe into this space you've created. Deep breaths, deep full belly breaths. One more deep breath. Delicious. Okay, and then a little bit of core awareness as we come back to the centre. So draw the navel to the spine, rolling back to the centre. We're going to extend the left leg down the mat, toes pointing up, and extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. If you happen to have a yoga strap, you could use it here around the right foot, but I like to do this active stretching. So interlace the hands around the back of the thigh, or if you're more open, maybe the calf or even back of the ankle. And then we press the leg into the hands and pull back with the hands. So this is very active stretching. At the same time, the left leg that's on the floor is super active, pushing through the heel toes to the ceiling. And just taking 5 or so breaths here, keeping both legs very extended, so pushing out through both heels, bringing the toes towards the shin on both feet or both legs. Right leg is in line with the hip. Extension and length in the feet, dropping the shoulders back into the mat, relaxing the back, relaxing the face. It's just the legs that are super active here, the legs and the feet. One more breath. And then bend that right knee, interlace the hands around the front of the shin and squeeze the thigh into the right side of the belly. So we're compressing the large intestine here. At the same time, pushing out forward through that left heel to really get into that left psoas, this deep pivotal muscle in the body, postural muscle. And then release. And just release that right leg for a moment. And we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So when you're ready, bending the right leg, flexing the left foot very actively, and we want to keep this foot actively flexed. Place the outer ankle on the front of the right thigh, toes pointing up towards the knee. Feed your left hand under the gap underneath the left leg, right hand around the outside. You can hold the back of the knee or the front of the shin. Head relaxing on the floor, shoulders back. And again, if this is all too much, if you can't get the head down, just release the foot to the floor, or you can take a cushion or something under the head. And you control it. So draw that right knee towards you until you feel that stretch in the outer left hip. Then hold your awareness in the area of the body that's feeling the stretch, so the outer left hip and lower back, and breathe with awareness into that area. You can take these little circles in the right ankle just to mobilize the ankle joint, just 3 times or so in each direction. Not moving the knee, just the ankle joint. Breathing very deeply, full inhales creating space in the left hip, full exhales releasing tension and stuck energy in the left hip. One more breath. And then release, take that right foot back to the floor, but hold the shape. So hold this triangle shape, keep the left foot very flexed, roll the legs over towards the right until the sole of the left foot touches down. You might take a block underneath the foot and take the arms out in line with the shoulders and just turn to look over your left shoulder. Again, I might use my right hand to just press the left thigh away from me here a little bit. My cat is like a magnet to my yoga practice. It's the dangers of practicing and teaching outside is being animal bombed. So hopefully he won't be too much trouble. So deep breaths here, breathing again into the space you've created around the left hip, left side waist. And then at the end of your next breath, find your core awareness to bring everything back to the centre. And then we're going to extend the right leg down the mat and keep it super active, toes up, as you extend the left leg up towards the ceiling or the sky. Interlace the hands around the back of the thigh or the back of the calf or ankle. And be active in the feet as well. So we so often lose connection with feet muscles. So push through the toe joints, bring the toes to the top of the foot and bring the whole of the foot towards the shin and both feet. Pushing out through both heels, length and extension in the legs. Deep breaths, keeping the shoulders on the mat. One more breath. And then bending the left knee, just drawing the knee in towards the left side of the belly now. Pushing out through the right heel. Compressing the descending part of the large colon, large intestine. And release. Great. So we're going to bring the heel, we're going to take a back bend now, we're going to bring the heels in towards the buttocks, about hip distance apart. Most of us, the toes are going to want to turn out, so we try and bring the heels out, toes in, to keep the outer edges of the feet parallel. Take the palms down, either side of the hips, and then inhale, press through the hands, press through the feet, start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. If you're getting quite high, if you're coming up to the upper back, you can lean to the left and draw the right
shoulder underneath, you can lean to the right, draw the left shoulder underneath and interlace the hands underneath the back. Or you can just continue pressing down through the palms. Breathe the chest to the chin. Keep the legs and the feet super active. Legs should be working hard here to lift the hips, but pressing down through the hands, opening the front body with the breath. Now you can stay here for a few more breaths, but if you're working into full wheel or towards full wheel, you might wish to transition at this point by taking the hands under the shoulders, maybe coming onto the top of the head as a halfway house and bringing the inner elbows towards each other, pushing through the feet to bring the hips closer towards the head, or maybe even pushing through the hands, lifting into full wheel, only if it's in your practice and you feel prepped to do so. No force, just stay with the first position and come down whenever you need. Otherwise, if you're sticking with my pace, just a couple more deep breaths here. And then if you're all the way up in the wheel, tuck the chin in. And everybody, if you're not already down, slowly lowering down. So we're lowering down from the upper back to the lower back with control, placing the sacrum on the mat. Wow. And just release. Back bends are very heighten the energy, so just take a moment here to let the heart rate come down. Just shuffle the shoulders back, take the feet forward, maybe rest the inner knees against each other. Just take 2 or 3 deep breaths. So we're nearly there, but we're just going to finish with an inversion. The one thing we haven't done is any core. So let's just do a little bit of core and then an inversion. So we're going to just draw the right knee in towards the chest and lift the left leg just so it's hovering off the floor, and take the arms back. So inhale here, and as you exhale, bring the hands forward and bring the head up towards the right knee. And we're just going to hold and squeeze for maybe 3 breaths. Try to keep the breath calm and steady. It's hard to breathe in this position, but do the best you can to breathe fully. And on your next exhale, just lowering the head down, the shoulders down, and then the left foot down, and then swap sides. So extend the right leg out, draw the left leg in, and then lifting up the right leg so it's hovering off the floor. Bring the shoulders off the floor. Inhale here, and exhale, squeeze up so the head comes towards the left knee, pushing out through the right heel. Right heel's not high off the floor at all. And again, breathe. 3 breaths. And at the end of your next exhale, lowering the shoulders down, lowering the right foot down, take the left foot down. And just as a counter to our back bending and our core, the core acts as a little bit of a counter anyway, but we're just going to take this L-shaped position. So extend the legs up towards the ceiling, flexing the feet, pushing through the heels, and reach the hands back overhead, creating lots of space in the back of the body, lots of space around the sacrum. So take a deep breath here. And then bend the knees in towards the chest, take the hands forward and just interlace the hands around the shins, knees to chest. You might just stay still in the centre, but you might want to put a little rock in, or little circles on the sacrum. So just doing what feels good for you. Relaxing the shoulders and the jaw. And then when you're ready, just extending the legs down the mat. So we're kind of in Tadasana, the mountain pose, but lying on our backs. And we're going to finish with an inversion. So your inversion, if you've got your period, or if you've got high blood pressure, low blood pressure, or any issues with your eyes, or any concerns at all, if you've got a wall, you can just go to your wall, take your legs up the wall. Or this is a great alternative. You could just lift the buttocks, take the hands underneath the buttocks with the palms down, thumbs touching, and let the buttocks sink back onto the hands. So you've elevated the hips ever so slightly, and you get the same benefit of the inversions of the blood flowing down the legs in the opposite direction towards the heart, towards the brain. So just giving the legs a rest, really. Otherwise we can go up into plough and or the shoulder stand. So if you've never done it before, you might just want to take this one, or just watch and then do it in the next one, or rewind and do. Otherwise, if you're comfortable with cold shoulder stand, just go into it in your own way. Okay, so to come into it, we take the hands either side of the hips, bit of momentum, take the feet behind us, so If the feet touch down, you can interlace the hands, roll again to draw the shoulders under, and come onto the tops of the feet. So we're in Halasana, the plough, and then press the feet down, activate the thighs to lift the hips away from the head here, to straighten and lengthen the spine, and press down actively through the hands. If the feet don't touch down, you simply bend the elbows and support the back with the hands until the back opens enough for the feet to touch down, whenever that will be. So we're going to stay in Halasana for a few breaths. If you need to come out at any point, just release the hands to the floor and roll out with control. Those who wish to go into full shoulder stand, support the back if you're not already supporting the back, so bend the elbows, support the back, and start to take the feet up towards the ceiling. When you're in an inversion, oi, my cat's attacking me. When you're in an inversion, make sure you don't turn the head side to side, keep looking up towards the ceiling. So extension up through the legs and the feet. Couple more breaths, maybe seeing if you can bring the hands a little bit higher up the spine. And then we're going to come out via plough for those who came into shoulder stand. So again, hinging at the hips, use your core control, bring the feet back down towards the floor behind the head. Now everybody release the hands to the floor as your brakes and start to roll out with control. So use your core, feel like you're placing each vertebra down one at a time, like links in a bicycle chain. If the head comes off the floor, it's fine, but trying to keep the head down on the floor. When the sacrum, the lowest part of the spine, touches down and the legs are vertical, just pause there. Feel that lovely weight of the legs dropping down through the sacrum. And then your choice, if you've got lower back issues, you can just bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor, or if the lower back feels safe enough, you can continue to double leg lower, very strong active legs, really using the core, so pressing the lower ribs, the lower parts of the back into the mat as you lower the legs with control. And when you touch down, just again find this Tadasana mountain posture on the floor, so quite active. We're almost at Shavasana, but not quite. And then we're just going to take a counter posture for the shoulder stand. So we've really compressed the neck one way, so we're going to open it the other way in Matyasana, the fish. So prop yourself up on your elbows, hands kind of clasp the outer hips, elbows close into the body, and then lift the chest up towards the ceiling. So we're strongly arching the spine, activate the back muscles, arch the spine, and then we drop the head all the way back. Opening the throat, opening the heart. If you're more experienced and familiar with the posture, you can walk the elbows a little further out and come onto the top of the head, and then bring the hands onto the front of the thighs. So you're just supported with legs and head. Otherwise, stay supported on the elbows. If you're on the head, bring the elbows back down, push through the elbows, and everybody bring yourself down to bring the whole of the back onto the floor. I'm having a slight cat issue with that, but you would just be lying completely on the floor. And just pause, take some breaths here, just lying on the mat. Now we're pretty much ready for Shavasana. But if there's anything your body would like, so maybe you want to draw the knees into the chest again. Maybe you want to take Happy Baby, lovely posture to finish with. So knees coming towards the armpits, shins vertical, and we hold on to the little toe edges, or maybe the ankles if we can't reach the feet, or even just drape the wrists on the backs of the knees. So maybe you just need a little twist, taking the knees over to one side, looking over the opposite shoulder, and then the other way. So just intuiting for these final few breaths what the body needs. Got a lovely cat pillow. And when you feel complete, no rush, we just finish with our Shavasana, the corpse pose. So in Shavasana, the feet are wider than the hips, flopping out to the side. Arms away from the side, palms up, and face, neck, spine and hips in alignment. Oi. just letting go. Oh. Just letting go. They do say never work with children and animals. So we've reached the end of our well-rounded practice. So we've done the work and now we receive the benefits. So just completely relax, feel the heavy weight of the body sinking into the floor supporting the body, the earth supporting the body. And just do that little mental scan, check you're not holding tension in the buttocks, in the belly, in the shoulders, in the feet and the legs, in the hands and the arms. Check the jaw is relaxed, there's a gap between the teeth. The eyes are rolling gently back in their sockets. No breath control. Total relaxation, total heaviness. And if you have time today, you can stay in Shavasana longer. That's the beauty of home practice. But if you're finishing with me today, we're just going to bring awareness back by deepening the breath, making small movements in the fingers and the toes, maybe moving the head side to side. And if you need a big stretch, reach the arms overhead, reach to the fingertips, the heels and the toes. And maybe bring the knees into the chest, have a little hug, or a little rock side to side. And then slowly roll to the side, push yourself up to seated. And we'll finish our class together today in a seated position. And just always good at the end of a practice just to take that moment, even if it's just the briefest of moments, just to consciously complete and close and harness the energy. We've created a lot of really positive energy, so just harnessing and directing that energy to wherever it's most needed. So I would recommend that that's to your own healing, transformation, yoga path, and from there we can then also share it out to the world, to others that need it in our lives. Whenever you feel complete, just bringing the hands together. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing practice today. Hope you enjoyed, and see you again soon.